Hey everyone, today's video is short and sweet. I recently went to London for some exhibitions and I really wanted to share that with you. So I went to see the Blue Paradox pop-up exhibition, the Fantastic Beasts, The Wonder of Nature exhibition. I will discuss that in a later video on its own, and Our Broken Planet. Those last two were at the Natural History Museum. So my planned visit was centered around environmental topics, particularly plastic pollution. I actually found out about the Blue Paradox exhibition quite by accident within my spam email. At first, I didn't think it was genuine, but I checked it out, booked myself a ticket, and off I went. As part of this, I tried to make the experience as eco-friendly as I possibly could. I travelled via public transport, took reusables for food and drink with me, and didn't purchase any refreshments sold in single-use plastic packaging or the like all day. As you can see from my packed food and drink, there were some sweets, but I always try to make sustainable swaps wherever possible. There are ways we can all still enjoy day trips without relying on wasteful products or practices. If everyone were to make changes to their usual day-out behaviours, then the hospitality and tourism industries would have to fall into place with society's new habits. That's just the way they'd have to evolve, the way that we are going to have to make these changes that are going to help our planet get better and be more sustainable. Some may believe carrying your own food and drink is a slight inconvenience, but there are benefits for taking your own food and drink on top of being kinder to the planet. Number one, it can save you money. Number two, you can take a break whenever or wherever you like, weather permitting or area permitting, depending on if your own food and drink is permissible in those places, without having to find somewhere to purchase food and drink from, especially when you're hungry. No one likes trying to find somewhere to eat and drink that is suitable for you when you're so hungry and thirsty. Number three, you can eat and drink what you like without having to search for it. This is particularly helpful for people with dietary requirements or those that are vegan or gluten-free. Number four, you can avoid queues in crowded cafes or restaurants. Please remember, though, that you should always take any waste you have with you and dispose of it correctly, or bin it, or recycle it, or take it home if there is nowhere nearby for you to do so. Unfortunately, our lives still revolve heavily around cars and driving independently, more of the instant accessibility that we already take so much for granted. I really like travelling by public transport and usually prefer to travel via shared mobility options, particularly rail, as I find it less stressful. Positives of public transport are: number one, less carbon emissions and greenhouse gases. Number two, improved air quality as there is less air pollution. Number three, you don't have to worry about parking or charges. That's always something that's on my mind. Number four, it's less stressful. You can sit back, talk, read, listen to music, or even have a nap, depending on that you don't miss your stop. Number five, you can avoid accidents and traffic and congestion. Number six, conservation of fossil fuels, which we will be working towards as a nation, as a society, to switch from in the distant future. I only wish it was happening sooner and much, much quicker than what it is. And number seven, urban epicenters and popular attractions are really easily accessible by public transport. That is the whole point of public transport, is to get people where they need to be, which is popular and which is a tourist attraction also. Unfortunately, as a lot of people will agree with me, public transport isn't always perfect. Travelling is usually only easy when things are running smoothly. It can be very busy. Routes aren't flexible beyond the designated direction and route that is designed for that public transport route. And sometimes it can be equally as expensive as driving and parking a car somewhere. So you have to weigh up your options, but if you can make the sustainable choice to change, then please do so. I'm doing so too. It wasn't cheap for me to go to London via public transport, but I enjoyed my day out. It was less stressful for me and is definitely less guilt on my part too. But it's just something we're going to have to accept, isn't it? That our lifestyles need to change. We may have to inconvenience ourselves in the meantime until better solutions are found and implemented. Transportation does equate to 29% of global emissions overall, and a large quantity of this amount is from cars. The Blue Paradox exhibition was our first stop, a pop-up exhibition that ran for a total of 13 days in September. During this period, 22,837 people visited the exhibition. That's a pretty good amount. It makes me so happy that others around me are trying to educate themselves about the plastic pollution crisis. For each visitor, a donation has been made to Conservation International to help protect a square kilometre of ocean, protecting and monitoring the ocean habitat and marine ecosystems that are critically imbalanced by our actions and endangered globally. It's a small start that I only wish will grow so that more ocean habitat can be conserved. There were several distinctive immersive experiences within the exhibition designed to raise awareness of the plastic pollution crisis in ways that can be quantified and understood by all. We were welcomed into the exhibition within a mirrored reflective room, which I felt at first allowed the visitors to see who the true source of the plastic pollution problem is, us, humans. As much as plastic has allowed the human race to advance, it has become at a very dear cost to Earth's other inhabitants. The room was then darkened so we could experience the imitation of bioluminescent algae, which creates some of the most beautiful, colourful ocean scenes that nature can offer. I will probably never experience the phenomenon in my lifetime, but it was amazing to be reminded of the true beauty of the natural world. And humans have no involvement whatsoever in its creation at all. The natural world is more than capable of its own beauty given half the chance. This was followed by a short video which I honestly have no words for. I cried through the entire thing and the entire time as I considered the weight of all that people have done and continue to do wrong to our home. I'll play some of the video here, but in fear of a copyright strike, I won't post the entire thing. I'll try to post a copy in the description below if I find it. It's definitely worth a few minutes of your time.
All life, human or otherwise, is connected to the ocean. Without it, no living creature can exist. The plastic pollution problem has become a global crisis, and disruptive change is needed now. What difference can a drop in the ocean make? Everything. Welcome to the Blue Paradox.
We are the villains of the piece, and it is going to take some serious change for us to become anywhere near to what can be described as the hero. It was really great to see that the staff that led you through the exhibition were knowledgeable and passionate about the environmental cause and were more than happy to converse with visitors and provide further information about plastic pollution. The aesthetic of the entire exhibition was very atmospheric, somewhat deep sea, marine, aquatic. The low lighting, use of colours such as blues, greens, black and purple even, and the music all helped to draw visitors into the exhibition, mirroring the serenity, calm and lull of the ocean, to then be slapped down with the harsh reality and the truth that the ocean will be no more the way it is if we carry on this current trajectory that we are on. I absolutely felt that and I loved it. I really felt that kind of juxtaposition of the music and the atmosphere compared to the force of the statistics and being faced with the truth of the whole situation. My absolute favourite part of the exhibition was the room with a rotating conveyor belt with popular single-use plastic items such as bottles, takeaway containers, spray bottles and nozzles kind of rotating and circulating around the area. The neon highlighted items reflect the percentage that are actually recycled, which as you can see isn't very much at all. I've come to realise in recent months that recycling alone is not going to aid or reverse this crisis enough, and we need to move away from single-use disposable items within our daily habits. The exhibition is hopefully going to be reopened, possibly somewhere else within the country. Tickets had to be reserved in advance, but at cost me absolutely nothing whatsoever. They were free. So please go and take a look if the Blue Paradox is opened once again. After this, it was a quick coffee pit stop in the Stratford Shopping Centre, coconut latte with coconut milk for me, and then we hopped onto the tube again to get to the Natural History Museum. I was always afraid of the London Underground, the noise, the draft, the smell, the heat, and especially all those people buzzing around, but I am getting more used to travelling this way when I visit London now. Most places are accessible and a lot quicker to get to than going up top on the ground level. It really was a whistle-stop tour of the rest of the Natural History Museum once we had finished within the Fantastic Beasts exhibitions. Content from that will follow in another video, so watch this space for that. We did move on to the Our Broken Planet exhibition. The premise of this was to explore how humans have changed the natural world through the display of 40 objects that have been chosen by museum scientists. The exhibition is set to evolve through 3 stages, and I've seen the first one and will hope to return to see the other 2 in the next 12 to 18 months because it does run into 2022. It has been designed to reveal the consequences of our actions and examine some of the solutions that could help mend our broken planet. I originally did not plan to visit this exhibition on our day trip, as I had no idea it existed initially. It was completely by chance that I found the exhibition while I was in the Natural History Museum. But I was so glad to educate myself further on the climate crisis and even found out about how products I hadn't even realised were being affected by climate change are being impacted upon. This includes coffee. Coffee of all things, the life force of my daily life. The final photograph of this video is rubbish that has been found within the River Thames, the very heart of London. This small sample of rubbish is just a small bit of what is actually out there worldwide, globally. Some of it is older packaging from previous decades. Does that not scare you that this thing is just taking so long to degrade? And it does not, and none of it really truly reflects the waste found within the river, how long it has been there, and the effect that it is having on creatures that call the river their home. Crabs, porpoises, fish, seals. Pollution is a current problem that surrounds us. It is not distance problem that we can avoid our involvement in. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm dedicated to bringing you content that raises awareness for the environment, as it is so important to me. Please watch this space for more unique content and check out the links in the description. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. That helps me to know that you are there and want me to continue making these videos that I create. And also go to my Instagram, _environment_hive, for further content and to get in touch with me. Till the next time, everyone. Bye.